I saw this beauty put out, Nika, a list of the best managerial performances so far, according to Greg's List. And Greg's List is based on the name Craigslist, which you might know from your,
Craigslist?
2000s internet days? I don't know when Craigslist went out of fashion.
It's still fashion. It's an app now.
Well, whatever. I haven't used it in over a decade. That's for sure. Well, this list jumped out at me right away because I saw some names here in the top 10 that were immediate red flags, Nika. Oh. Immediate red flags. And, well, I'm not going to spoil the fun. I'm going to kind of reveal these like one at a time, if you will. But, well, we're going to start with the bottom of the list with Stephen Vogt, the Cleveland Guardians managerial replacement last year for Terry Francona, who retired the year before. I want to set it up that way because of what Greg is about to say.
Kick this list off with a guy we showed you highlights of just moments ago, Stephen Vogt's Cleveland Guardians. In year 2 as a big league manager, they're 19-7 since July 7th. Losing the best closer in baseball is not easy. He's dealing with it well. They've picked up 9.5 games on the Tigers in the AL Central standings. They're in the mix for the wild card.
Stephen Vogt was the manager of a team that had 2 players suspended for gambling and had their lockers cleared out. They're probably going to be suspended for life by the time this investigation is over with. You are the manager who oversaw that. There's no way you can be a top 10 manager in the game the same year that happens. Secondly, this was not a rebuild by Cleveland. This was not a rebuild. This was not a team that lost Terry Francona to retirement and said, like, well, we're going to rebuild the organization. No, Jose Ramirez is playing always at a top level year after year after year. He's probably going to go 30-30 again this year. So there's not a lot of excuses here for me. I see they're playing good lately, but how bad were they before that? They're not even in one of the wild card spots right now. Yeah. And you're saying they gained 9.5 games on Detroit?
Okay. That's great.
We'll see if they can make it interesting. If they can somehow claw their way all the way back into this, then we can talk. But I think it's very premature to include Stephen Vogt in this list right now as one of the top 9 managers. I could say top 15, but top 9 is a big stretch.
Okay.
Number 8 on his Greg's list, it's Craig Counsell, everybody.
8, Craig Counsell. The Cubs are in second place. The Brewers are red hot. I totally get it. But he reimagined their bullpen. And they have had perennial, annual bullpen issues. Palencia, Pomerantz, Keller. He aligned this bullpen. He knows how to get out-getters to do their job. Craig Counsell, terrific work. He's number 8.
Oh, my God.
I highly disagree with this. I feel like bullpen management has not been a strong suit of Craig Counsell. Like,
it's the opposite.
You can blame the players all you want, but like trotting people out there in certain situations against your fans' better judgment is head scratching sometimes. You know, I understand wanting to get your players to succeed and but he wasn't necessarily putting them in positions to succeed all the time either. They also put way too much faith into Ryan Presley, who has now been DFA'd, by the way. Mm-hmm. But at the start of the year, it was like, oh, we got this great bullpen arm and we're shoring up our bullpen. He's not even on the team in August, man. Didn't even make it. I know that could be looked at as a Jed Hoyer thing and not a Craig Counsell thing. And I do think Counsell did a good job of getting the Cubs bullpen in a better position. But ultimately, I don't think the Cubs did enough at the trade deadline to get into contention. And I do think Craig Counsell does not manage with the same sense of urgency that we're seeing north of the border in Wisconsin with Pat Murphy. I just don't see it. I kind of feel the same way about the NL West. I don't think Dave Roberts manages with the same sense of urgency. You know, even though the Dodgers are in first, it doesn't seem like they're as dominant as they were last year, right?
Right.
Well, speak of the devil.
Dave Roberts.
This one got me the most irritated, by the way. Let's hear what Greg had to say about Dave.
Number 7, I got to give Dave Roberts love, man. I know they have a huge payroll. But no manager has gotten fewer innings by starting pitchers in the entire sport than Dave Roberts. He's had to walk out there. It's not a laughing matter, Dave. Stop.
All right. This reasoning is just ridiculous. Am I wrong, Nika?
No.
He's literally like giving credit to Dave Roberts for a problem that he is at the center of. He is the centerpiece of the Dodgers pitching problems.
Oh, yeah.
His bullpen management has been awful. His starting pitching management has been awful.
If it wasn't for the ring that the Dodgers won, Dodgers would have a different manager this year. He was on his way out.
The Dodgers won a ring in the COVID season.
Yep.
That was whatever you want to call it. I don't want to say lucky, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
But last year's ring was legitimate.
Yes.
It was a full season. They won it all. But more and more and more, I feel like he just hides behind his superstars. You know, and that's another thing, by the way. How can he be a top manager in the game when Mookie Betts is performing so poorly for so long? So poorly for so long.
Two pitching staffs that are on the injured list.
At least. I mean, not to mention the relievers that have gone, you know? So, yeah, I feel like some of this accountability is being swept under the rug. And, oh, by the way, I want to remind you, Greg, you had the Dodgers at 125 wins before the season started, and yet they're not going to touch 100. So let me ask you this. How can he be a top manager in the game when he's underperforming by your expectations more than 25 games? Huh? Oops. Last but not least is another one of my personal favorites in the game, Alex Cora. Straight out of Boston. Let's hear what Greg had to say about this wise man in Boston.
5. This is the soap opera. Alex Cora, the Devers issue. Tristan Casas lost for the year. Alex Bregman, they signed him 43 games. They play with 4 rookie position players. Alex Cora's like, who else are we bringing up? He's on the phone with Breslow all the time. He's number 5.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me because he certainly acts as douchey as Craig Breslow does at times. Now, I'm not going to deny what Boston has been able to do since they traded Devers has been impressive. In fact, I think we predicted that this might happen.
Yeah.
But they made that situation. They created it in the first place, and they shouldn't be just given a pat on the back for navigating out of it. You know, they traded it away, a player just a year ago who was your franchise player.
Yeah, you were building a franchise around him.
And then you just cast him aside. And so while I think what they've done has been impressive, I don't want to ignore a couple things. One is that Alex Cora did not handle the Rafael Devers situation at all correctly. You know, as soon as they signed Bregman in the offseason, which, by the way, there's some history there. There's some history with Cora and Bregman that you can't ignore. But as soon as they signed him, they should have talked to Rafael Devers. They should have flown out to his place. They should have knocked on his door, and they should have said, hey, Raf, can we have a minute?
Yeah.
Can we talk to you about your future with the Boston Red Sox? They could have even traded him before the season began and avoided the whole ugly shit show and said, hey, you know what? We all talked like grown-ups, and we decided we're going in a different direction. That didn't happen. This became a huge public spectacle. And to say that Alex Cora is innocent in all of that, and therefore is, and not only does he have him in the top 9, he has him in the top 5. Give me a break, man. Give me a break. Now, the rest of the list I didn't really have a problem with.
Okay.
So I didn't include any of their video evidence, but these arguments that Greg was making about these particular managers, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what he's selling here. I don't know. And so who got left off, Nika?
Mike Shildt got left off.
I have to say, I do think Mike Shildt got left off. Every year that he's been the manager of the Padres, last year and this year, I shouldn't say every year like that, but last year when he was manager of the Padres, this year when the season began, nobody had the Padres being a top 6 National League team. And yet here we are in August, their roster is looking like they have a chance to go to the World Series just like last year. Yeah. So who should be eating crow right now? Greg. Who's not eating crow right now? Greg. He couldn't even fess up to it with this list. I guess I would just ask you nicely, Greg, what has Mike Shildt done to you to not be put on this list? I mean, I would argue, yes, Fernando Tatis is struggling at the plate this year, but not more than Mookie Betts has. So even when it comes to managing superstars who are struggling, Mike Shildt's done a better job in a year where Fernando's been, in my opinion, terrible at times.
Manny's doing good. He's a superstar.
Absolutely. Ohtani's doing fine. Freddie Freeman's been struggling long periods. I guess I just feel like not enough credit is given to Mike Schilt and too much credit's given to Dave Roberts. No balance.
No balance. Well, okay.
The other person I want to mention that I feel like got kind of shafted in this list is Dan Wilson of the Seattle Mariners. Dan Wilson came in last year in August after Scott Service was unceremoniously fired almost a year ago, I guess, from now, is when that whole thing went down, and Seattle decided they had had enough. And they looked internally to Dan Wilson to take over, and they've been much more aggressive offensively this year. Would you agree?
100%. They turned the team around.
Yeah.
Julio is hitting. They got power bats next to him now. And they are actually poised to go to playoffs this year.
Absolutely. And I just want to leave you with this. Last year, they averaged 4.1 runs a game, and that was at the end of the season. That was after consecutive months of August and September of being over 4.5 runs a game.
Okay.
So by doing that in August and September last year, they were able to bring the average up to 4.1. Every month before that, though, is in the threes.
Wow.
And then there's April and May might have even been in the twos, one of them for sure. So to turn your offense around like that and then put themselves in a position to add Josh Naylor at the trading deadline this year, to add a Eugenio Suarez back to the team at the trading deadline this year, that deserves to be commended.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what Seattle does. But look, I think this list was a little bit bonk.
Yeah.
Don't you?
100%.
The only thing I'm really shocked is that Aaron Boone didn't make it on the list somehow.
Well, it's New York, so they are really upset with him at the moment.
And
so.
the Mets, I guess, because
The
they've been
Mets.
on a terrible streak lately. Holy cow. Swept by the Guardians at home, swept by the Padres on the road.
Yankees
It's
swept by the
trending
Marlins.
downwards in New York. Boy, oh boy.
Marlins have an upper hand over New York.
I'm surprised they didn't put them both on the list.
Wait, they might another list come out, revised version.
All right. Well, what do you think, everybody? Did some other names get left off this list that deserve to be on it, and or are we off base by putting Schilt and Dan Wilson on this list in place of a couple? At least, I don't know. At least Stephen Vogt shouldn't be on there, and Cora does not belong in fifth. I'm sorry.
Cora has a baggage that's always gonna be with him.
I agree.
You know, and to elevate him to this position.
I know it seems out of place a little
Yeah.
bit. All right. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below.